Welcome back. President Trump will meet with Xi Jinping in Beijing on May 14th and 15th, of course, after delaying his original trip due to the ongoing conflict in Iran. The high-stakes meeting comes at a critical moment. New reports say that China and other U.S. adversaries are providing intelligence to Iran against America. Joining me now is the president for the Committee for Freedom in Hong Kong Foundation, Mark Clifford. Mark, great to have you. Thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here again.
And, of course, we've talked the last time we were together about what China did in Hong Kong and how they went in there and just threw all the freedom fighters in jail and put new national security rules down in place. And Jimmy Lai was one of those freedom fighters who we pray for. But I want to get your take on China today in terms of what it's doing in this Iran conflict. Gordon Chang joined me yesterday, and he told me that China is very involved in providing intelligence. And that intelligence this week helped Iran take out that very expensive early warning jet that Iran sent strikes into Saudi Arabia and was able to damage. Watch this.
The Russians and the Chinese almost certainly supplied the information to Iran for targeting purposes. That was a grievous loss for us. There's got to be some costs on China for continuing its support of Iran.
Wall Street Journal reported that a replacement of that jet will cost $700 million. You're saying the reason that they knew where that jet was is because China provided the information?
Yes, from even before this war started, you had a private Chinese company, Maser Vision, showing the location of U.S. military assets in the region along with specific coordinates. China's support for Iran is almost across the board. The only thing they don't do is they don't supply combat troops. But apart from that, China is there, and we need to recognize that.
So, you know, Gordon Chang was saying President Trump shouldn't even go to Beijing. What are your thoughts on what China has been doing in terms of supporting Iran in this war?
Well, China's been supporting Iran for years. It's been using Hong Kong and other places to help smuggle Iranian oil, help Iran get money. Hong Kong has emerged as the major smuggling site for dual-use technology that's going to build Iranian drones that are killing Ukrainians, helping the Russian war machine. So I think we have to be absolutely certain that they're helping out in this conflict as well, while trying to keep their fingerprints off. And as Gordon says, obviously not sending combat troops.
But I think President Trump is walking this balance because we can't decouple from China right now. We still have an enormous amount of supply chains there. So what would be your best advice as the president gears up for this meeting in May? Yeah,
well, look, I think it's good he's going. The two sides need to talk. It's better to jaw than to war. But I think that he has to keep our strategic interests, technology, and I would argue, of course, human rights, right at the core of his visit.
All right, let me switch gears and get your take on Hong Kong entrepreneur Jimmy Lai. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison after being found guilty of collusion and conspiracy to undermine national security. We know exactly what happened, and we've covered this so close since poor Jimmy was arrested. I spoke with his son, Sebastian, last month on this program, right after his father's sentencing. And here's what Sebastian told me. Watch.
My father had plenty of opportunities to leave, but he knew that by leaving, he would not only be leaving his principles behind, but he'd also be leaving his people behind. You know, despite knowing the threat to his life, the threat to his freedom, the threat to everything that he's built, he decided to stay in Hong Kong. And since the end of 2020, my father has been in prison this whole time. This is a man who has campaigned for the last 30 years for freedom and democracy. You know that he's a good man, he's a courageous man, and to many people in the world, he's a hero. And this is what they do to my father. This is what they do to goodness, to these virtues, to standing up for freedom and defending your people.
I mean, Mark, you wrote about this in a Wall Street Journal op-ed. You wrote, China promised the Hong Kong people that it would protect their freedom after it took over the British colony in 1997. Mr. Lai took Beijing at that word, that free speech would remain. He chose to stay even as authorities cracked down after the massive 2019 protests that saw millions of Hong Kongers in the streets. Now, along with hundreds of other political prisoners, Mr. Lai is behind bars. Have you spoken with Jimmy Lai?
I have not. As you said, he's got a 20-year sentence, basically for meeting foreigners, for meeting people like Mike Pence, Mike Pompeo, John Bolton. So I'm not going to do him any good by being in touch with him. But I do hear that mentally, he's as strong, maybe stronger than ever. His Catholic faith underpins him, gives him a sense of freedom and salvation. We've got Easter coming up. I just pray that he's able to receive the Holy Sacraments and continue to remain free in his head. Meanwhile, he's coming up on 2,000 days, mostly in solitary confinement. It's like the size of an elevator, and he's sitting in there, denied light most of the time, natural daylight. It's unbelievable what the Chinese are putting, not just an older man, but a man who's always espoused nonviolence. He believed the Chinese when they said that Hong Kong people would continue to have their freedom. They've lied. He's paying the price.
And why? Because he had the Red Apple newspaper and he talked about freedom?
Yep. Well, that's basically it. He's a guy who had a media platform. He had resources. And above all, he has principles and convictions, and he's fearless. I don't think the Chinese Communist Party has ever run across somebody like Jimmy Lai in their almost 8 decades of rule. They don't know what to do with him. They haven't broken him, but they're going to kill him if they don't let him out soon. I believe that his freedom, it's something President Trump has talked about repeatedly, and I'm sure that will be a major issue. It's an irritant. The Chinese say they want good bilateral relations. They say they want to get rid of unnecessary irritants in the relations with the U.S. Let Jimmy out.
That's unbelievable. Mark, thank you so much for making the case and for keeping Jimmy front and center. We appreciate it, and we'll keep praying for Jimmy Lai.
Thank you so
Thanks
much,
so
Maria.
much.
Thanks.
Mark Clifford joining us. Stay with us. You're watching Mornings with Maria live on Fox Business. We got a big hour coming up. We'll be right back.